Hello everyone! I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas with your family and enjoying lots of good food and good rest and all the good things that come along with this time of year. We wanted to come to you guys today with something that we're passionate about, something that we get asked about often, and that is number one, how do we work together? And it takes a lot of work and purposeful planning, and one of the things that we do for that is called a couples goal setting retreat. And so this is a retreat where you go away once a year. A lot of times we do that the first week in October. And we get really purposeful about what do we want to do in our life? What dreams do we have? What do we want to do this next year? And it really allows us as a couple to grow together and really just stake out where we want to go with this life.
Yeah. So the first time, we've been doing it about 5 years, and the first time we sat down, we didn't have 2 days to sit down. We had 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so we took a long lunch, sat down together and said, okay, what do we want to do next year? What do we want life to look like? And so we walked out of there with, I think we were committing to read 3 books together the next year, and had some spiritual goals that we had written down, and then everybody wants to lose 5 pounds, and so
or 20
pounds. So we had put those goals down, but we had written them on paper and put them down and said, okay, these are some things that we want to do. And it was important for both of us that first time to really just sit down and say, okay, these are the things that I really want to do.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And then we got to put that together, and then as a couple, we knew that in the next year we could work together on those goals, keep each other accountable, and really have something in writing that we were working towards.
There have been a few things that really have helped our marriage and almost revolutionized it, and this is really one of those. So now, 5 years later, it looks a little bit more thorough. Every year we think of something we want to add and we want to do differently. And so now, actually, and some years I plan it. This past year, Justin plans it. These are some subjects that I think will help you get going, because a lot of times people are like, what do you talk about for 2 days? I promise there's a lot to talk about, okay? So some of the subjects that you can talk through is spiritual. What are your spiritual goals? Where do you want to go spiritually as a family and as a couple and as an individual? What are your physical goals? What are your personal goals? What do you want to read more books? Well, what does that look like? For me, a lot of times it's I want to have these really good friendships, these girlfriends. Key relationships and family. What do you want to grow in as a family? Do you want to read more? What do you want to do? Financial. Do you want to finally pay off that debt? Do you want to buy a house or sell your home? And then job and business. So those are some subjects, and I'm going to give you the resource for all of those at the end that you can kind of talk through. And then some final questions that we always really like to do is, what are some key habits that we want to develop this year as a family and as individuals? One of the habits that we really have tried to develop as a family is to read together. Doesn't happen consistently all the time, but it's something that happens way better now that we've talked about it. And then what books do we want to read as a family and as individuals? And where do we want to go on vacation this year? This is one of Justin's favorite questions. His love languages are financial and vacations. And as long as we can accomplish those two, he's a happy guy. But we actually sit down and plan our vacations. We get excited about them. It motivates us, and we actually calendar them and plan them so that they actually happen. So you've got all these subjects. What do you do after you've spent these amazing 2 days or 2 hours or whatever you spend with each other throughout the year? We recommend that you get together at a certain amount of time that you determine at the retreat. So some couples will get back together quarterly for a whole afternoon or evening or whatever that looks like. Some couples will take a monthly date night and just talk through, how are we doing on this? Is there anything that we need to do better on? And then some couples even talk about it weekly. And so it just depends on where you guys want to go, how quickly you want to go there, and what that looks like for you. The resource that I've talked about is at the website called the1thing.com. And they actually have a complete packet, whether you're an individual or a couple, with questions on goal setting and what you want to accomplish this next year, 5 years, 10 years. And it's a great packet to go through during this time together.
So right now, you guys we're past Christmas. Some of you may be driving in the car to the next Christmas destination. I think that's what we're actually doing probably right now. And some of you are going to be sitting at home. You've got time with family that you haven't had in the weeks leading up to Christmas, and then you won't have once school and work and everything gets started after the new year. And so some conversations are going to happen over the next couple of days. And if one of those conversations ends up being, hey, you know what, we may want to buy a house, or we may want to sell our house in 2019, give us a call. You don't have to wait until you're 6 weeks out and then give us a call, because there's some things that maybe I can come over, take a look, and we can focus on over the next couple of months that we can work on to make your house be the highest value right now. Or maybe on the buying side, some things that you can think about and be working towards, so that whenever we get ready to buy, you're in the best position possible that you can be. So give us a call. January is a great time to put those plans kind of in place. And if you put them down on paper, you sit together as a couple or as an individual, and you have those plans on paper, you can start taking some action on a couple of things right away, right in January. So give us a call. We'd love to just take a look, and even if it's in a year from now, at least we're pushing the ball forward a little bit.
One of the questions I get that I didn't talk about is, what if one spouse is not excited about this?
That's me.
So Justin was like, what's going to happen here? Like, what is it? He was just curious, like, what was going to happen. And so I think that there are two elements to that. Number one, I think you give them the space to dream. Justin needed that financial and those vacations. Those were really important to him, and I needed to give him the space to dream in those. And then the second thing is, don't come with it completely planned out already. The first year we did this, I came with a complete plan, and he said, well, what about me? What do I want to do? And so I think that it's important to really go through the questions and then to come up with a plan together. So I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you have some of these purposeful conversations, and if we can ever be a part of those, we'd love to be a part of those. But I hope you have a wonderful and restful Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.